What's going on, traders? Hope you're all having a great weekend and had a great trading week. We're going to be doing a little bit of analysis here on the Spider ETF, the S&P 500. And before we do that, reminder that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We'll start off here with the weekly chart. Markets were basically flat on Friday, down 28 cents, 0.06%. Final print coming in at 449.28. And taking a look at the economic calendar for next week, not too much sticking out to me. Thursday, really, the 20th, initial jobless claims at 8:30. I think that's the only thing that I'll really be keeping my eye on. Other than that, looks pretty quiet. But I know the focus for most traders are earnings really kicking off this week here. Bank of America is reporting on Tuesday in pre-market, as well as Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, and a few of the other banks as well. We do have Goldman Sachs pre-market on Wednesday, but everybody really will be watching Wednesday after hours, where we have Tesla and Netflix reporting. So that will be certainly interesting to watch how they play out. But we'll start off here with the weekly chart, and we are kind of stalling out here in this supply zone. And I know I was talking about in the last video starting to look for me for a bit of a retracement possibility in the markets, and we started to see some selling coming in and a little bit of more hesitancy in the buyers on Friday. And I followed my personal plan where I was still bullish on Friday, and actually I did not have a good Friday. First red day of the week for me, but I did follow my plan as far as my levels, so I can't really complain too much about that. With that being said, you can see here the little top wick where we tried to break out in the morning, and then continued to sell off into the rest of the day. And we'll look at the price action a little bit more in depth intraday as we move along. So we're kind of stagnant here, and let's look at the daily chart. I guess the only thing I really have to say on the weekly is that we still here are watching this extreme overbought reading here on the Momo. So let's also just take a quick peek at the bigger picture chart, which I did point out. Let me put this okay, here we are, which I did point out on that's not it, which I did point out in the last video. Here, as you can see, we have come up. Now what I really thought was going to happen is that we were going to get a scenario like 2 years ago in July, but we didn't get that, and we still may. But you can see here how we've been tagging that line, and we tried to break over the bulls and they couldn't really do it. So very interesting seeing how price is starting to react here at this major macro level, right? So let's go into the daily now and see if there's anything else that strikes my eye. Overall, not really too much. You can see the slight red day. Really not too much overall as far as the selling wasn't that strong, in my opinion, but we are starting to see a bit of a trend change. You can't see here on the daily, and it would be a little bit more confirmed. We got to see what happens on Monday, but when we dig a little bit deeper into the 4-hour and hourly and 30-minute, we'll be able to start to see the shift in the price action. However, again, selling was not that strong, so really anything could happen. We'll have to see what happens on Monday, but I did open up that short position that I was talking about, and I had grabbed some. Let me just open this up really quickly. Grab some July. Now I was considering the monthly, but I actually went with weekly. Actually, the 28th of July, I got the 444 puts that ended up closing about 9% in the positive. So we'll see how those work out for me. I do have some room to add if I need to, but I probably won't. It is a bit of a higher risk trade. I am counter trend trading here, and on a very strong uptrend. So we'll see. I can add, but I'll have to make that decision if we do start to push up a little bit higher. I probably won't though, personally. But really not too much else that I needed to go over here on the daily. I think that's all well and good. Let's just take a look. I did readjust the fibs here on the bigger picture time frame, and really not too much to report here. We're not near any of the major areas, so that's fine. The one thing I will say is, there is a chance, again, I still believe that we could potentially push a little bit higher and then come down. Now, how high, that's anybody's guess, but I don't think that much. I prefer not to take the heat on the short trade, but of course that is a swing. I have time, so I'm totally able and willing to day trade to the upside, if we do get a push on Monday. So that's fine with me. The only reason I say that is just, even though we have that extreme reading on the Momo on the weekly, it's not here on the daily, and those things don't have to necessarily line up perfectly. There's plenty of times where we've pulled back from this area, even right here we saw the pullback. This was a bit extreme, but none of these readings here were on the weekly, so we didn't have that confluence. So I'll just see how this plays out. Let's see here. What was the reading here? It was about 11, and we're about 10.5 here, so we'll see. But let's dig a little bit deeper here on our charts, and let's just go. Let's go with the day trade and fibs first. Why don't we do that? And we'll take a look here. I have not adjusted, and you know what I'm gonna do actually is just bring this up a little bit. I'll consider this for now bit of a fake break, and I will move that up to this high. I'm not going to count this swing high. I'm going to go with the full body here, and let me just make sure. I think I've got this low worked out. 46, 45, that's pretty much fine. I'll leave it. So really not too much here on the day trading fibs to talk about. I would say, this is a little bit of a bigger picture time frame. Actually, let me throw it back. Okay, this is fine. Really you're gonna have to get under, and we'll talk about that 447. We were talking about that in the last video. 447.30, 447. This whole zone, that's gonna really have to be taken out for us to see any more selling to come down. Potentially into this 38.2 area in the 445 zone. It's anybody's guess how far, if we do get a further retracement, how far we will go. I will say my target really, honestly, is the 444. And let me zoom out a little bit here. Oh, that's not the right one. Let me go to this one. Let me go to the daily really quickly. And actually I don't need these on here. Okay, what I am thinking, and we'll go back a little bit closer into the intraday price action, but there are so many levels that the bears need to break through, and that the bulls could potentially defend before really seeing any selling, but any real true aggressive selling. But this the 13th swing low, of course, is going to be the first area that they're going to have to break through. It doesn't exactly line up with that 447. I think the high here, 447.50, basically 45, The low here is 45. So, we'll put it basically, as I said before, I don't really go with support and resistance to the penny. That whole zone, we'll say 447.50 to 447, and it's going to have to be breached. But ultimately, I would like to see it, even for the bull case, because we can't have this parabolic, this blow-off type. We can certainly, but it's not healthy for the market to just keep going in this straight line like this. And a simple retest of this key area down by 444 is really what I am targeting. Will I get it? I don't know, but it would be normal and healthy price action to see that retracement right into that area, and that will give us a nice little reset for that eventual move back up higher, which overall I do think we are going to maybe bigger picture, the 440, 455 and the 460 area. But as far as things stand right now, really nice confluence. Now this is probably going to, of course, move into next week as it is dynamic here, but nice confluence on the 9 right at that 444 area. I mean, if we were right here right now, oh man, I certainly would be giving this a shot for some longs. Perfect night, a perfect confluence on a back test of this breakout. And we can even really say here of a nice little ascending triangle breakout that we have seen in the market. So yeah, it's pretty textbook here overall. So whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Excuse me. Okay, I'm not going to fix it because it's the second time I did that wrong. All right, but you can see the ascending triangle, right here, and kind of an ugly cup and handle. Excuse me, I'm still battling this cold a little bit and my cough. But actually, I'm gonna go away from the microphone. I apologize. So we'll see, and this would be normal and healthy to see that. All right, so let's go back into some closer views on the price action. So as I was saying before, really going to need to take out what I was going to go back to the day trading fibs here. Really going to need to take out and you can see where we bounced actually, and I was talking about this in the last video. The area where we were hanging out here, this high where we were consolidating for 2 hours in that 2-hour range, and then we finally broke out on Thursday, and that's pretty much where we came right into retest before we did finally see some buyers. But overall you can see how we did the fake break above and then came back below, and it was nothing but sequential lower highs that came in the market, and we found perfect support right there at that base of that opening, well, not really an opening range, that 2-hour range breakout right there. And I could draw the line there, and hopefully you guys can just see it. It's right there and pretty perfect. Will we get more selling? Again, we'll have to take out this swing low, the bears. Otherwise, we can also make that argument right here for a little bit of a descending wedge type of pattern, maybe setting up for Monday. That's also another scenario that we could potentially see here. But even if we move up, they've got a little bit of work to do. Maybe getting back over 450. I think that would be the most ideal thing for the bulls. But really going to have to confirm and hold over this 450, 466 area for the hope to move back up higher, and then take out this swing high at 451. We'll call it 40, and that will open the door to some of the other higher levels that I've already gone over, but we'll go over them again in a little bit. So that is one scenario there for the bulls with the falling wedge. But if we do take out this area, then again we'll come into that 447. That breaks, And then we have the chance to come into 445 and my ultimate target, real close to that 444. We might break below and actually come in and test this volume point of control, and maybe do a look below and fail, recapture, and then we can talk about the longs and take it level to level back up, and that would be nice. So let's see how that plays out. Let's go into our major levels here that we are watching. Now again, here you can see right where we stopped. Are we talking about this level here and the 441.40 area? We take this out, then we're looking here at the 452, 30, and then over that 454 and 455, 455, 30, and that would be our main target and our next major target. And then 446 over that. I would probably have to say I don't have it on here, but I think actually I have it on this one. Oh, I took it down. Okay. But in the 447.50s, 45 area is what I'll be looking for next if we start to get over those levels. And I'll map that out another time, but for now this is enough. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much everything I needed to go over. I mean, we know the short case now. If you know, bulls overall again are still in control. They gotta, bears gotta break under here, under that 48 over this swing high where we bound, or yeah, Thursday swing high or opening range high, and then they gotta get. If you want more confirmation, I would say wait till under 447.50. You can have a bit more confirmation for that retracement down. Bulls still in control. They could only come down possibly and retest the top of this range and then bounce back up. I might not even get my target, and I might only get a 20-30% trade. I'll take it, but that's another possibility as well. If they break this 447, you gotta wait for that buy reaction, comes up, retest, short it back down into the 446 area, 25, and then the 45, which we were talking about earlier on the fibs, and then ultimately down into this zone, in the 444 area, maybe 443, maybe we come into this 25% quadrant on near the volume, near the hourly volume point of control. So pretty straightforward. Again, I got a little mixed up personally on Friday. Still, playing the longs in this area, but as I said, these all still are my bullish zones. Bulls still are in control. And it was just the way it worked out for me, but so I can't really complain, because we were hitting all my bullish levels still, and again, I mean, they could come down to here still and it's still bullish, and still we can come down to 444 and we're still bullish. Under that, okay, we can start talking about potentially seeing the lower prices down into the 2s and 1 and maybe 440, but that's a far way away, $9 away, so we take it one step at a time. And yeah, so I hope this helped you out for Monday and Tuesday. We know our levels, we know our plan. Let's see if bulls can actually get back over these lows here at that 449.50, but really we want to see 450 recapture for the moves back up higher for the bulls, and they got to take out at the very least 448.50 and this 447.50, and then the shorts are more in play. I'll still be, Mondays again, I've said this before, aren't really my favorite day to trade, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time, see kind of what price wants to do, and I'll be looking around the market to see what's strong, what's not, and then try to build a thesis off that. Alright, well, don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, really helps out the channel, be pushed out to more viewers, and subscribe if you want to. Okay, take care.